Thanks for your company in our first story. It's a mix of anxiety and suspense for majority of children who trooped to various military installations for the annual Military Open Day by the Ghana Armed Forces. The situation is not different today at the Ghana Air Force Base at Burma Camp, as curious kids lined up in long, winded queues waiting to have an opportunity to fly in a military chopper. For first-time flyers, the experience is indescribable. John News has been speaking to Flight Lieutenant Amasewa of the Ghana Air Force Base and some of the curious kids.
Chopper. For some of them, it is their first time experience and they are waiting anxiously for it. But I have here with me Flight Lieutenant Amasewa. She's going to tell us what the Military Open Day is all about and what the military seeks to achieve with this Open Day. Flight Lieutenant, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Okay, tell me, what is this Open Day all about?
The Open Day, as the word suggests, is the day that we as military personnel open our gates to civilians who would otherwise not be part of us to come and experience what we do on daily basis as military personnel.
Okay, so tell me, apart from the Air Force Base, which other places can these kiosk kids and adults go to see? I mean, some of your logistics.
Actually, all the military bases are open to the public today, since it is the Open Day. So you could also go to the naval base or any other military base that you wish to go to, and they are all ready to take you through what they do on a daily basis.
But you're a pilot yourself. Tell me, usually when you're flying this kiosk kids, in there, up there, what feedback do you get from them?
It's so exciting. Flying a lot of children on this day, and it's very interesting, and we are all very happy to do that.
Okay, so that's Flight Lieutenant Amasewa. Let's get into the long queue. Okay, this queue is actually not long winding. There are about 3 processes you'd have to go through before you get here. A lot of the kids are up there waiting anxiously to get opportunity to fly in a chopper. Let's have interactions with one of the kids. Let's find out from them what it means to her. What's your name?
Surayatu Rashid.
Surayatu.
Rashid.
Okay, Surayatu, tell me, how excited are you to get on this chopper? But first of all, is it your first time you're flying?
Yes, of course.
Wow. Tell me, what are you anxious? Are you excited? What's the experience for you?
I'm very happy. This being my first time, I'm very excited.
You don't have butterflies in your tummy? You're not scared?
Oh, no.
You're not?
Okay. I'm not scared.
So tell me, if you go back home, what would you be telling your friends today when you get back home?
I'm going to tell them how the flight was like and the fun we had here.
Okay. Finally, before I go, when you think about the military, what comes to your mind? I know a lot of you kids, when you see somebody, in a camouflage, you see the military men in their uniforms, you start running away. Tell me, what's the feeling like when you see a military man?
Oh, when I see a military man, I feel normal.
Hey, really?
Yes. Because I'm a cadet member.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Surayatu. Well, Surayatu says she feels normal when she sees a military officer. That was not the case for me when I was a child, actually. I usually would run helter-skelter. Hey, how are you? Tell me, you're going to fly in a chopper. Is it going to be your first time today? It's your first time?
Yes.
Tell me, how excited are you?
I feel like flying.
You feel like flying? You say you feel like flying?
Yes.
Oh, you'll be flying very soon, okay?
Okay.
When you get home, what would you be telling mommy and daddy?
I'll tell them that.
I get it. The anxiety is too much. Okay, all the best. Okay, so it's excitement for a lot of these kids. A lot of them are anxious to get on board. So this is what is happening here at the tarmac, here at the Air Force Base in Burma Camp.
Really curious children there indeed. Now, away from that, this week on Joe News, we are sharing with you stories showing challenges and opportunities of being a woman in Ghana. We call it the Women on the Move series. The initiative is in connection to the International Women's Day, which falls tomorrow, 8th March. Now, bamboos are rampant in Ghana, and yet they are woefully underutilized. One woman is changing that. Bernice Dapa founded the Ghana Bamboo Bikes Initiative to use Ghanaian bamboos for bicycles when she was just 20 with school friends, and is now creating jobs for other young people and helping check climate change. Apart from selling their produce around the world, the Ghana Bamboo Bikes Initiative is also donating their bamboo bikes to school children so they could commute to school. My colleague Justice Baidu has more.
My name is Bernice Dapa, the Executive Director of Ghana Bamboo Bikes Initiative. This is where we use bamboo to manufacture bicycles. So attractive. Sometimes when I say we use bamboo to manufacture bicycle, people think I'm crazy. You can see our gentleman is also working on the production of the frame. They are cutting it, make it in a different shape, very, very nice and attractive. That's what our scientists is also doing. This is the multi-purpose machine we use for the cutting of most of our basic materials like this, the steel tube. You can see our lady doing the marvelous work here, doing the cutting and everything, which is so attractive. So this machine does a lot of work for us. This is where most of the filing is being done. This is the raw process that they are doing. This is very, very hard work, but the guys are so committed and they are doing the work for us as economic empowerment for them. And as you can see, most of the lady and the guy too is doing the finishing process. We're hoping to broaden our scope to different communities, which we can retain them and also create them as alternative livelihood for them.
My name is Alibatu Saadia, a product of Ghana Bamboo Bikes. I'm really happy to join this initiative because I was a school dropout. It has helped a lot of less privileged people. People walk miles from their house to school, and this initiative is really helping them because we are able to donate a lot of bicycles to them to make things easier for them.
Why are you using bamboo? Because we have a lot of bamboos in our country that is going underutilized. So we want to see how best we can change the face of using bamboo by cultivating, going into production, and even diversifying our production for both local and international platforms. The single bamboo plant that we harvest for production, we plant not more than 10 bamboo species, which also help us to mitigate climate change issues. But as you know, bamboo contains a lot of oxygen that balances the carbon dioxide. The 1 hectare bamboo plantation that we plant not at least 250 bamboo species.
Stay with your Joy News channel for other interesting stories as part of our series, Women on the Move. Now, moving on, the Minister of Employment and Labour Relations, Ignatius Bafwe, were accompanied by Gender Minister Otiko Afisa-Jaba and the MP for Ayaso West Wuogon, Emmanuel Ejako, have visited the fast food joint at Abilimpe, Mawako, where a Ghanaian staff was reportedly assaulted by her Lebanese boss. I have my colleague Matilda Wemega on the line. She was with the team as they toured that particular restaurant. Hello, Matilda. What can you report? We know that the Lebanese boss in question was supposed to have been interrogated by the police today, but from the side of the minister and the Minister for Labour Relations and the Minister for Gender, what can you report? What have they been saying?
Yes, so Ben, is according to the Employment and Labour Relations Minister, Ignatius Bafwe, he's saying that, yes, they heard about it. They moved there this morning just to get information from for themselves. And we were met by the general manager of Mawako Fast Food Limited, and he narrated the issue to the ministers. But the minister has given the company a week to submit its report, and according to them, based on their investigations, sanctions are going to apply. And if depending on how the investigations go, if they would recommend that the place should be closed down, they will do so. So for now, they are going to investigate the issue whilst waiting for Mawako to present its official report to the ministry. So they have a week to submit this report. And after this report has been submitted and investigations concluded, they would apply the sanctions if need be. And if a possible closure, they would also take that step. But the gender minister, Akufo-Addo, has also been responding, who says, you know, tomorrow marks International Women's Day, and she has really condemned this act, saying that, yes, they will do all they can to ensure justice is brought to this lady in question. But they would ensure that they would investigate the issue to ensure that its logical conclusion is.
All right, Matilda, before you leave, is the narrative by the general manager the same as what already is in the public domain, or there are some contradictions?
It appears there are some contradictions because according to the general manager, when the incident happened, it took the company about 4 days to get in touch with the lady again, who was not reporting to work. And their first way of addressing the issue was not to report the matter to the police station. And they first took the lady to a pharmacy where they tried getting her some drugs, fly on the eye and all that. So it took quite a while for them to take steps. That was when the lady started agitating. So it wasn't as if immediately the thing happened, the management took further steps to address the situation. And according to the manager, this has not happened in the past 10 years since their operation. But this appears to be a bit contradictory to what the lady in question says. This has always been happening at the restaurant. So the general manager has assured that they are going to submit their report within that 1 week frame that he has been given. But they have also condemned the act. Dennis.
All right, Matilda, but has this report in any way affected their sales? Did he touch on that at all?
He didn't touch on that. He wouldn't speak to the media after the interaction with the minister. But yes, of course, they've been affected by this whole thing, especially with the outrage on social media where people are talking about boycotting Mawako foods and all that. So generally, it would have some impact on their businesses there.
All right, thank you very much, Matilda Wemega. She's my colleague, and she's been with the Minister of Labour Relations, Ignatius Bafwe, and the Minister of Gender, Otiko Afisa-Jaba, as well as the MP for Ayawaso West Wogan, Emmanuel Boachi-Jack, when they've been touring the Mawako restaurant. They paid a visit to the restaurant, and we know that one of the workers there was allegedly abused by her Lebanese boss, and that case is still with the Ghana police, and this is they're investigating the matter. So stay with us. We'll bring you up to speed with everything you need to know about this particular story. You're watching Joe News today with me, Benis Abubedi. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring you more stories. Please stay with us. Thank you for staying here on Joy News today. Now, the Convention People's Party has taken a swipe at President Akufo-Addo for what they say is an attempt to tweak the history about Ghana's independence. Speaking to Joy News this morning, Communications Director of the CPP, Kadril Abdul Rauf, said the president's speech on the occasion of the country's 60th anniversary parade sought to shift the spotlight from Dr. Kwame Nkrumah as the main architect behind the independence struggle.
Let me put it on record that it doesn't take one single individual to win independence for people. It definitely will have to take the effort and the sacrifices of so many people. But it takes one person to climax the sacrifices of so many people. And when you study across the world, you will find that in virtually every country across the globe, people came out, sacrificed their might and main, and won independence. But usually when you are trying to trace independent hero, it is usually given to one person. It is not divided. I don't know why a deliberate attempt has been made in this country, not only to rewrite our history, but also to take arms against our history. Why is it that people are trying to undermine Kwame Nkrumah? Why is it that people are trying to minimize the role that he played? So we think that there is a mischief of some sort to try to bring up names who actually in their own way, well, they wanted independence in some, but the tactics that they employed could never have won independence for Ghana. Undoubtedly, J.B. Danko was a nationalist. He's a philosopher, and you can't take it away from him. But in trying to recall and recount the events of CIFMAD 1957, he cannot be connected to it. Because we recall the history where deputations and delegations were sent to Britain to subvert and undermine the process. We recall Obi Chebi Lamte, who was behind the formation of Gashi Fomokwe, a highly tribalistic organization that was meant to subvert the independence of this country. So how can we give them credit where credit is not due? It amounts to making them gather from where they have not scattered. And we think that approach should be discouraged. But the independence that we got for Ghanaians, the CPP I mean, on CIFMAD 1957, it would be unfair to connect these people to it because the history is still very clear that they were sending delegations to Britain, telling the Queen that when ready for independence and that their experiment with us was not yet over. So why would you give them this credit?
But Deputy Chair of the Ghana 60 Years On Planning Committee, Abu Jinapor, has defended the President's speech, saying everything presented by the President was factual.
I believe that there are some principles that we cannot jettison, or we ought not jettison, which principles are that we need to be unanimous on the facts. We can all have our respective bias or prejudice, inferences, or interpretations of the facts, or extrapolations out of the facts. But the facts must be settled. And to that extent, I think the President has done our country a great service by taking us on a journey respecting the history of our country. I would be happy to hear any contradictory facts, factual narrative. All the factual matters relating to Dr. Nkrumah and our independence were articulated by the President. For instance, the fact that Dr. Nkrumah was brought in to be a permanent secretary to the United Gold Coast Convention, the President did say so. The fact that Dr. Nkrumah established the Convention People's Party in 1948, the President, 1949, the President did say so. The fact that Dr. Nkrumah became the first president of our country, there was no particular or deliberate shine on anybody in that speech. The President just walked us through the historical facts of our country relating to the struggle for independence. It's as simple as that.
You're still watching Joy News Today with me, Benis Abubedu. Let's go now live to the Air Force Base here in Burma Camp, where my colleague Maxwell Agbaba is bringing us some live updates. We brought you an earlier story of some school children sharing with us their expectations on a flight in a chopper that they would enjoy today. So, Maxwell, what's been happening? What can you report?
Well, Benis, we've been to several areas here at the Burma camp. First, as you rightly mentioned, we were at the Air Force Base where we had interactions with some kids who were anxiously waiting to get on board a military chopper. A lot of them were very anxious. You could see that they were filled up with suspense. For some of the kids, it's all excitement seeing the choppers, out there in the air. But the moment they get closer to it and they feel, the air and, the pressure coming from the blades of the chopper, then they start getting scared. In fact, on board the chopper itself, some of the kids were excited to go on board. Finally, when we were mid-air, you could see the inconvenience on their face. And these are first-time flyers I'm talking about. I've been having interactions with some of the officials, military officials here on the grounds, and they tell me that the Open Day is an annual event where they want to get up close and personal with a section of the public. They say that they know all the mystery, the kind of thoughts and perceptions that people have about the military. So this day is actually one that they've set aside to demystify the military, so that kids will not see the military people in camouflage and then go like, oh, okay, so this man is a military man, I'm scared I can't get closer to him. As you can rightly see in the shot, these kids are just having a good time. Oh, okay, I can see some adults in there actually. They're having a good time in the armored vehicle, and they've been driven around actually by some of the military officers. We had a good ride in there. It's not what you would want to describe as cozy, but it is a perfect experience that you would want to have. It only happens on the military open day. Let's see how these guys are going to get out of the Mohawk right here. Let's just watch this, how it's going to happen. It's okay. The military people are trying to get them, to come out gently. Okay. So Ben, actually, if you come here, you would hear a lot of, the buzzing of the choppers. It feels more like there's a lot of activity here today. If you live in Bema Camp, you'll be wondering, why are all these helicopters, hovering around this place? It's because these kids here are having a good time, enjoying the facilities and the logistics belonging to the military. Now, I just saw you come out of the Mohawk, the armored vehicle. Tell me, what is the experience?
Oh, there's heat there, but it's nice when riding in it. There's heat inside, but there's a lot of fun when you're riding in it.
Would you want to do it a second time?
Yes, but they will not allow you.
They will not allow you, so you not do it a second time?
Yes.
Tell me, have you been to the Air Force Base?
Yes.
Oh, so you enjoyed the ride on the chopper too?
Yes.
Tell me, was it your first time?
Yes, it was my first time, but it was fun.
Wait, you were not scared?
No.
So today when you go home, what are you telling your friends? What are you telling mommy and daddy?
I'll just tell them that I was in the flight. But when
Maxwell.
it's landing, it's a bit scary.
When it was up, it was a bit scary.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Dennis, I hear you calling.
All right, Maxwell, let's talk about you. Were you on the
Hello?
chopper yourself? And did you, engage in any of the activities? And how has it been for you?
I mean, it's been fun. It was an eye-opener for me. I mean, it's not the first time I'm flying, but inside a chopper, the experience is entirely different from what you have, in the regular airplane. It's totally different. It was an eye-opener for me, actually, especially sitting in these Mohawks. As I mentioned earlier, it is not cozy in there, It's not like you riding in, let's say, a Lamborghini or something. The experience is entirely different, and it's one that, you'd want to have on a special occasion like this. So it's a lot of activity here at the Armed Forces base here in Bema Camp, and we understand that this activity is being replicated across all the military installations that we have, Dennis.
Maxwell, before you leave, briefly tell us, when is this event expected to end for those who are watching us from their homes? Maybe they want to take their children somewhere. Tell us what time this will end.
Okay, so it'll be ending by the close of the day. So if you really want to have a ride in this Mohawks or armored vehicle, or you want to have a ride in a military chopper, then you can make your way here to the Bema Camp. But let's just say that there are long winding queues of kiosk kids who are all ready to to have a ride in some of these vehicles, and then the choppers we're talking about. So if you come here, it's really a hard time having access. Like, we have different about 4 processes that we'd have to go through before you get on board a flight. And for these vehicles also, you'd have to go through different processes. So it's not an easy one, but I think it's worth it. If you come here and you have a feel of these, these logistics, it's worth it, Benis.
Thank you very much for those updates, Maxwell Agbagba, my colleague, coming to us from Bema Camp. Well, still on something that affects children. 32 school children collapsed at the Akufo-Addo Jackson's Park during the Eastern Region Parade of Ghana's 60th anniversary celebration. Our regional correspondent Maxwell Kudoko was there for Joy News. We do apologize for the loss of sound there. Away from that, the Headquarters Association of Ghana is worried about the increasing number of its members who are becoming rape victims. Its president, Adiza Zongo Pioneer, says the association is recording an unprecedented number of cases in recent times and is urging government to speed up construction of the Kayeye village promised by President Akufo-Addo. The headquarters were a part of this year's Independence Parade in Kumasi to show their gratitude to government for exempting them from market tolls. Kwesi Deborah reports.
12 contingents from 12 institutions graced the Ashanti regional version of the 60th anniversary Independence Day celebration. Over 100 head porters or kayayes from various parts of Kumasi marched to the Jubilee Park to mark the occasion. It has never happened before, she says. We petitioned government and they agreed we join the parade. Just like I petitioned Akufo-Addo to spare us of the market tolls. We were trained by the military to take part.
Akufo-Addo present. So on fa take it in fanka the manifesto na me no ba when you take it in fees so ampanso catch am so what me the campaign anso wonya enso ba we take it in fees so pass no eja mada woma me sa ko mo say 6 months no pese ka ho soldier for ni ji ye fe etire ni ye kama.
Adiza Zongo Panier underscored the need to house members in order to curb the menace. She hinted the association is undergoing restructuring to meet Nanado's one district, one factory program.
We want
Nanado to start putting up the Kayaye village he promised us. The rape cases are alarming. Now we are restructuring the trade, so we can trade Kayayes to be hairdressers, seamstresses, and etc. In abroad, they are Kayayes, but they are highly skilled. We want Nanado to speed up the one district, one factory up north. When we have jobs, we won't come to the south.
Uniform.
Reporting for Joy News, Kwesi Debra.
Well, away from news surrounding the Ghana 60 celebrations, a couple who lost their son after surgery to correct his hole in heart condition are considering legal action against the National Cardiothoracic Center as they accuse the doctors in charge of negligence. Jennifer Kwamo has more in the following report.
Every parent's worst nightmare.
After Andy's death, up to date, this Thursday will be exactly 3 weeks. I can't still believe it.
3-year-old Andy Jake suffered from hole in heart disease and required urgent surgery. After the 320 million cedi bill was paid off through the benevolence of the family's church members, the surgery was scheduled for Andy on the 15th of February 2017. Vida Jake was Andy's mother.
But when you got there at the intensive the theater, it was on the first floor. When you got there before, Andy is like, he was afraid. He can't even, he didn't even let me sit down. Andy was afraid and was, I don't even know how to put it. But I was trying to comfort him. So one of the nurses came and took Andy to the theater. So when they went to the theater, I was outside. I was still there waiting. And the doctor said, Vida, go down. Go down and be in the ward and be praying for us. And I said, okay. We are women, so you just go and be praying for us. And I said, okay. The doctor promised me that at least 4 hours' time, they will finish with the surgery. So supposing they start at 10 o'clock, by 2, they should finish with the surgery. I was waiting. So almost 7 hours before they called me that they finished with the surgery, to come and see my son. Actually, when I went, what I saw was, it's like they finished everything, but he was sleeping. The nurse explained to me that he will not wake up today unless tomorrow because of the drugs and things. So Andy will not wake up today, although there was blood on him, oxygen on him, and drip. So I saw, it's like Andy wasn't dead by that time. So when I went, although I prayed with him, I touched him, and the nurses advised me, oh, he can't hear anything. You just go back to the ward. If you need you, we'll call you back. So actually, Thursday morning, I was there when one of the nurses came, that Andrew mother. He said she should come to the intensive care right now. I don't know, it was a heavy blow. They called the doctors that at least can help. They were all there. They did all they could, but Andy passed on around 2:35 a.m.
The death has taken a toll on the family. According to the post-mortem, Andy passed away from complications arising from the surgery. But Noel Jacke, Andy's father, says after consultation with another doctor, the post-mortem's results are pushing him and his wife to seek legal redress.
Fine, to my knowledge, I don't know their terms and whatever is on it, but what I can read very clear on it was that shock, and then they use some terms on it. But I actually also have a colleague who is a doctor. When he understands their language very well, so he told me that it's like there was some mistake somewhere during the surgery. They tempted with something they are not supposed to. That's what caused the death.
But did the surgeons who operated on Andy, did they tell you there was any problem?
No. Not even up to today.
Nobody has given you?
Nobody.
Have you asked them?
No, not at all. Because we have somebody who was, let's say, in charge of the whole thing. So we are.
Apologies, we have to cut the report. There's more on this story in our subsequent bulletins. It's now time for business. And Emmanuel Abuajiriafe will be telling us about what the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Abdul Nasir Isaku, is saying the bank will do to reduce counterfeiting of the city.
Hello again, good afternoon and welcome to Business on the News. Now, the governor of the central bank, Dr. Abdul Nasir Isaku, says the bank will use most sophisticated security features to prevent counterfeiting of the country's currencies. The governor is giving the assurance as the new 5 Ghana cedi notes finally go into circulation today after unveiling by the bank last Friday. Dr. Abdul Nasir Isaku tells Joy Business the move has become critical looking at the current developments in the economy.
They should handle it, keep it clean, as clean notes. I mean, we've got features that make them quite enduring in notes, but we have to handle them quite cleanly. And I urge all Ghanaians to handle them with respect, handle the 5 cedi note, and all of our other notes with respect and dignity, because money is money. So.
Finally, on a lighter note, I see Dr. Nasir Isaku signed on this note. How do you feel?
I just add to the legitimacy. Governor signing a note when you counterfeit and sign George Weah on there. It's not.
I cannot do that.
You can't do that. When you do that, it's fake. So look for an authentic governor's signature, like the previous governors have done. That's just what we've done with this note.
Now, the Bank of Ghana's plan to increase the minimum capital requirement for banks has been approved by government. However, this approval, according to sources, has come with some conditions. George Rafi again tells us more.
Government, according to sources, agrees in principle the current minimum capital requirement for banks is inadequate and must be reviewed. However, the challenge is how this capital should be increased. Government is worried about the concerns from local banks that they may struggle to meet the new capital requirement. It also has issues with the current liquidity challenges and even the health of some banks that are said to be in serious distress. Persons with knowledge of the capital requirement say government believes most of these challenges should be addressed before the capital increase is implemented. Sources say if the Bank of Ghana takes steps to address these issues, the new capital requirement can even take off from today. The Bank of Ghana earlier this year maintained that it is waiting for the new administration's approval before it goes ahead with the increase in the minimum capital requirement. So, with this approval in principle from government, it is possible the Bank of Ghana could soon come out with its plan to increase the capital for this year. Persons with knowledge of this review say it could be increased from 120 million Ghana cedis to 250 million Ghana cedis, and banks could be given 1 year to meet this requirement. However, this will be separate from the economic risk capital requirement the regulator is planning to introduce for banks, depending on their risk or exposure. An increase in capital could improve the financial position of banks, a development that could improve access to credit, and possibly a marginal reduction in cost of credit.
That's all on business this afternoon. Make a date at 1 p.m. on the marketplace when I bring to you more developments in the world of business. My name is Emmanuel Abuachi. We are up next, sports.
Good afternoon, my name is Baba Tandawa and I bring you the latest in the world of sports. Today it's all about Akufo-Addo and they engaged the services of Scottish coach Frank Nuttall and officially handed him the club's technical reins some 18 days ago. Now in his 4 weeks with the club, Nuttall has recorded 1 win, 1 loss and 2 draws. Typical of them, Hearts-of-Oak fans would have started agitating by now. But rather surprisingly, Maxwell Asabri, who is a staunch supporter, says it is too early to assess their new coach, Frank Nuttall.
It's taken over for just about 2 weeks now. Yes, and I cannot use 2 weeks to assess a coach, especially so when he wasn't responsible for the recruitment, he wasn't responsible for the preseason, he hasn't been responsible for a lot of things. So I will not jump and say that I will assess him by just the 2 matches that he has played. And even if he fails, I will not put all the blame on him, because if he had been here and he was the one who guided us in the recruitment and he was the one who guided us through the preseason, it will give me a fair idea that, well, the man has been here for long, he has been with the players for long, and therefore he's got a certain knowledge about the players. And therefore, if he is doing his selection and the selection fails him and he loses a match, then I can adequately, blame him. For now, he's in a fixed position, and I will exclude him out of any blame at all if the club is not performing. What we have to blame, if there is any non-performance, if there is anybody to be blamed, I'll first of all blame the strategy, the committee, the management committee, the strategic committee, because they were the one in charge of the preseason recruitment and everything. They are the ones who, in the absence of a coach, put up an acting coach to take over the club's preseason. So you see, and sometimes when you say that, if you go to a match and you lose a match, why do you go all up there to blame somebody? The actions and inactions of the top is what translates into the field. If the actions of the top is such that better recruitment was done, it will reflect on the field. If the actions of the top was such that better policies were put in place, it will reflect. So anything, the match that we are playing is just a reflection of the collective decision that we have taken, that is good or not good. And so when you assess what is happening on the field, off the field, I don't want to even comment on that on the field, because we are not making profit. We are not making it. We are not selling players. We are not grooming players. Every year we have to buy 30 players, and then the following year we transfer 25 players. They go for free. We don't get anything out of it. We are not learning from it. All these decisions are being taken by management and the board.
All right, so at some point in time 2 weeks ago, the football fraternity woke up to an allegation that a section of the women's supporters wing of Hearts of Folk, that's the Hearts ladies, had been sexually gratifying players of the club. This allegation, which was described as needless and baseless, did not go down well with management and supporters of the club. Here's staunch supporter, once again, Maxwell Asabri.
The supporter who made that statement, what is his role in the club? What is his contribution to the club?
He pays fees.
Gate fees. There are House of Folk, there are several football fans who are not House of Folk supporters who also come and pay. What particular role has he played meaningfully into the club? To the extent of demeaning our precious ladies. They are precious to some of us, because we know the role they are playing is very key. So I will not sit here and just accept a statement from anybody who think he can just sit on in the comfort of his home and make some allegations against our precious ladies. If there is evidence to back it up, he should mention names that certain so and so player slept with so and so. And even if somebody sleeps with somebody, is it news? No. Don't you sleep with somebody?
I'm married.
Don't you sleep with your husband?
I am married.
So if house lady, a lady from the house supporters decide to sleep with one of our players, what is it? What is it? What is it? So they should keep their libido to themselves, and rot, isn't it? If listen, if a House of Folk player is interested in no other person than one of our ladies, why not?
They are adults.
They are adults. They have libidos. They shouldn't keep it within themselves. They have to.
It will affect their.
They have to release it. And if they release to whoever may like, please don't support such statements.
There will be more on the sports page on myjoyonline.com. We're also tweeting live on the handle Joy Sports GH. On Facebook, if you search for us, Joy Sports, you'll find us. Like us and follow our live updates. My personal Twitter handle is @Babatando. That's your sport. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my name is Becky and I'm here with the latest in entertainment. Now, veteran high life musician Adani Best, one of Ghana's finest musicians in contemporary Ghana, after years of being away from the music scene, has given hints to Joy News that he is returning to full-time music in August. He argued that he had to take a deliberate break to be able to work on his yet-to-be-released records. He spoke to us after a short performance Monday night at the Aragon Center.
You see, I intentionally took a break. Okay. Intentionally.
Why?
Intentionally. I did it intentionally.
There should be a reason why.
You see, I just advise myself to take a rest and come this year, maybe in August. You guys will hear from me in August. So what I need is your prayers. My fans, I need your prayers. I'm coming out in August. So pray. Remember me. When you say a prayer, say one for me. Music is a record. Okay. You know it's a record. Yeah. So I decided to take my time to work on my music before bringing it out. And I have finished with what I wanted to bring up. So that's the reason for my delay. So hopefully in August you hear something from the man at Adani Best.
Now, speaking on what he makes of the young crop of musicians, he commended their good works, but has urged them to always make it a point to use local rhythms in their songs.
Our local rhythm, you see the high life rhythm, and infuse it with whatever whatever they wanted to do, but they should remember to use Efie and Ifie. They should use our local rhythm, iLife rhythm, and that will, help them to achieve whatever they wanted to achieve.
All the best, Akane.
Always welcome.
Thank you.
That'll be all for entertainment here on Joy News today. My name is Becky.
It's been a pleasure bringing you the news today. That'll be all for this edition of Joy News today. Before I go, a recap of our top stories. And Employment and Labor Relations Minister has toured Mawako Food Joint, where a Lebanese boss is reported to have rubbed fresh pepper in the face of a Ghanaian female staff. And ahead of International Women's Day, which falls tomorrow, we brought you a special report on the challenges women face and in making a difference in the world. And we focused on Ghana Bamboo Bags initiatives founded by a woman. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. Many thanks for your company once again. The Marketplace is up next. Emmanuel Abuaji will be hosting you on that show. From the entire team, we wish you a very good afternoon.